When a person walks in, first thing when they're starting a business is they want to know how to make sure that this is set up the best way, not only for now, but also for the future. So you want to find out what entity fits them the best. And the entities that you can choose from in North Carolina are going to be partnerships, and there's 3 types of partnerships, of whether it's going to be a limited liability partnership, whether it's going to be just a limited partnership or a general partnership. And then there's a limited liability company, an LLC for short, and then there's corporations, both taxed as an S Corp and a C Corp. When someone were to come in, sometimes they don't know that, and they could be operating a business before, and they might not have any type of entity set up, and so they're not registered with the Secretary of State. That's the first thing that they need to do, but you need to find out what type of business fits your business model best. And depending on if you're dealing with services, how much involvement you are in with the business, if you're active in it, or if this is more of a passive income. If there's property involved, can make a huge tax implication, and also for a business reason on how you want to set up your business. The company adds protection with getting into an entity, whether it's an S Corp or an LLC or a limited partnership. But there are different reasons outside of tax that someone needs to look at and really need professional help instead of just going to LegalZoom or whatever. They don't have that one-on-one contact that we like to give here at Shipman and Wright. Most people think of corporations, and they think, and the first thing that they're going to think of is these large corporations. Most corporations that are with Secretary of State are going to be actually S corporations, and they're smaller and they have different requirements, and you can only have 75 shareholders and all these other requirements. But it's going to give you the same advantages a lot of times as an LLC, but the filing fees are actually lower. So sometimes, as long as you don't have business property located in that, it could behoove the business owner to have that instead of the LLC, even though they're the popular things to have out there. But talking with their personal accountant, or if they don't have that, then their accounts receivable and payable can really enlighten themselves, and then also us on our end, to be able to pick the best corporation for them, or best entity for that matter. The LLC, like I mentioned before, is one of the more popular entities. It's the newest entity that's out there. It has some great freedoms. It has this, you can be taxed as an S Corp, or you can be taxed as a partnership, and which is a flow-through taxation to each one of the membership interests. And so it really has a lot of freedom there, with still a lot of the protection that is given with an S Corp. Partnership is one of the older, just 2 people getting in business to earn a profit. That's a partnership. You don't really have to file it, but there's other types of partnership, of limited partnerships and limited liability partnerships that are offered in the great state of North Carolina, that give them a little bit more freedom, but at the same time more concrete rules of what they're getting into. The structure of any business needs to be set in place, whether it's a bylaw or an operating agreement between the shareholders or members or principals that are involved. They need to know what they own, and they need to know what's going to happen if the unthinkable does happen. And that's kind of where we step in and think about, since we've seen other businesses run into problems that they don't foresee, we offer that insight to them, and 20/20 vision sometimes. It's never going to be that way, but we're not going to make those claims. But at the same time, we've seen a lot of things at this office and can bring the attention to each one of the business partners and understand, okay, well, what if this does happen? Then you can make those plans that you don't want to think about.